What's up, ladies and gentlemen? I'm Laughing Coyote. This is another one of those This Week in Cricket, but it's going to be a little different for a couple of reasons. One, it's not just a week. We're covering a lot more than just a week. And also, I have someone with me. Now, I don't know how many of you would know him, but yeah, let's see. What's your name? Why don't you introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. So my name is Astrid. I started a YouTube channel a little while ago, Cricket for Us 2.0. And what I do is I try and give every possible cricket-related news to everyone who watches. So I've got a YouTube channel, like I said, Cricket for Us 2.0, and we've covered the IPL, we've covered the Pakistan-Zimbabwe series, we've covered squad announcements between India and Australia. So we're just getting our feet wet, but yeah, we're going to be very, very busy over the course of the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, good stuff. Good cricket videos coming. So if you're someone who likes my stuff, these kind of stuff, that is, not the Cricket 19, because I don't think you do Cricket 19. Do you do Cricket 19?
I don't do the videos, but I do play the game. I basically...
Okay.
I found you through that, so I followed Twisty3, and then I got to yourself, and then I got to...
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, these are the big three of Cricket 19.
Oh, videos. Okay. So you're including me in that group.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't consider myself that big, but thank you. But yeah, check out his channel. Link will be in the description. So we're gonna start this video off with talking about the IPL. It was different than other IPLs, wouldn't you say? But we're gonna talk about it in a bit. What was some of the things that you thought were some of the things that stood out to you, maybe events or maybe players or,
Well, to be honest, the first thing is there were no crowds. So it was all generated through electronic means, which kind of... very weird. There was no one there, and they would just had screaming, or you had someone screaming, Rajasthan, when
right.
It just felt a bit forced. But barring that...
That was really awkward, yeah. Also, the sound effects they were using, it looked like it was like the World Cup final every time someone hit a boundary. It was too loud, But...
Definitely. One thing that I actually stood out to me was a couple of players, to be honest. I thought Rahul Tewatia, he was immense, like what he did against Cottrell. And then he did that a couple of times. I was like, 30 runs in and over. Like, I thought it wasn't going to be... I didn't think they were going to get that. But they won the match as well because of him. Like, he scored that 50 after 9 of 21 or something like that. And it was just... That's one thing. Second thing, again, for me, Ishan Kishan and Devdutt Padikkal, I was very impressed with both of them. And honestly, it's the batting that impressed me a lot more. Bowling, it was mostly Natarajan's Yorkers that I found really good, because I think 66 Yorkers in a 15-16 match tournament. So pretty well done, I'd say.
All right, so yeah, Devdutt Padikkal was someone that I found very interesting as well in that RCB side, and I think he might have been one of the reasons why they made it through the playoffs this year. And what do you think about the whole RCB situation? They're saying that Virat should no longer be the captain. I don't agree with that at all. I think he should remain the captain. I don't think it's just down to the captain. I think, it's a team sport. It's not a one-man show, so you can't just put it all on Virat. And he's done well. He's not done too poorly. But what do you think?
I tend to agree with you, because I think Virat Kohli's captaincy isn't what should be criticized. It's that they had 4 batsmen and that's it.
Right.
Yeah. They'd have Aaron Finch, Padikkal, Kohli, De Villiers, and then literally no one who could perform. Chris Morris batted well in 2 games, and he only played half the season, right? You had Yuzvendra Chahal, he can't bat. You have Navdeep Saini, he can't bat. You've got a lot of
He thinks he can bat.
A lot of their bowlers are just pretty much all-and-out bowlers. They don't have...
Specialist bowlers, yeah.
Right? And they don't have specialist batsmen, sorry. So that was the issue for me. I think Kohli's a great captain. He's done wonders for India, right? But he has that team. Right. He has that team. But for RCB, he just needed one more batsman. That's all he needed in that team, who could perform fairly consistently. If you have players like Finch, who didn't do great, to be honest.
No, he didn't. They had to drop him at the end. Yeah, they didn't even play him in a couple of games.
This is the funny thing. They didn't play him, and then they played him in the qualifier, in the eliminator. Yeah, which made no sense. Yeah. But it made, as in, I get where they were coming from, but I would say if you've gone with someone for the last couple of games and he's done all right, then why not stick with him? So all they need to do is get one more batsman. proper batsman, then they should be fine.
Right. I mean, on paper, they've got a really good side, right? They've got Finch, who's amazing in T20. They've got AB de Villiers. I mean, don't even need to say anything about that man. Then you've got Virat Kohli, who's King Kohli. So there's that. So they have got the batting. It's just, it wasn't really clicking. I thought maybe they needed more bowlers because their bowlers didn't do all that well either. And also they had Steyn, who has a lot of experience, but you know, that means he's old. So, you know, he's not the same Steyn he once was. So maybe a bowler, and maybe in addition to the batting too, because the batsmen, they have good batsmen. It's just like you said, they didn't really perform. And the guy who was performing was Padikkal, who was a youngster who nobody even expected to do anything. And he turned out to be one of their best batsmen. So yeah, there's a lot of things that need to be done there. The captaincy, we can agree on that, definitely is not one of them. What were your, if you had to make one team, 11 players from IPL, all the teams, what would your 11 be?
KL Rahul, Devdutt Padikkal, Suryakumar Yadav, Ishan Kishan, Hardik Pandya and Marcus Stoinis can play 5 or 6. Rashid Khan, Jofra Archer, Trent Bolt, Jasprit Bumrah, and Yuzvendra Chahal. I forgot about Archer being one of the best strikers this IPL as well. So
yeah, and then you've got Rashid Khan as well. He can bat. So you've got actually a really nice side. Now that I look at mine, it's not as impressive. Anyways, so a couple of changes. So our openers are the same. Like I said, Devdutt Padikkal, I was very impressed with them. So he's opening alongside KL Rahul. But at number 3, I don't have Suryakumar Yadav. I have Shikhar Dhawan, who got 2 centuries and also helped his team go all the way to the final. So that was, I mean, I don't know if he should be at number 3 or opening, but he definitely deserves to be in the team. Then I have Yadav, Suryakumar Yadav. And then after that, I have Ishan Kishan. Then I have Archer. I have Rabada. And then I have Chahal and Bumrah. So our team is not that much different. I have Shikhar Dhawan. I have de Villiers. And and Rabada. So we have 3 differences in the team. Now, de Villiers, like I said, I think I might be misusing him. So what would be a replacement for him? You know what? I'm going to give that guy Sanju Samson. I think he was pretty good. I think he was one of the young players that stood out to me. He was pretty good in the field as well. That one catch he took was ridiculous. And he is a wicketkeeper as well. So then I have 2 options for wicketkeeper. Although de Villiers is also a wicketkeeper, so I would have had options there as well. So, okay. Yeah, my team is stacked with wicketkeepers. Brilliant. So, yeah, that's my team. So we just have 3 changes or 3 differences. All right, next we'll move on to the Aussie summer. So we've got Australia versus India. We also have the BBL there. We're going to start off with talking about the by the way, I'm going to do the predictions for the BBL. A lot of you are asking, so I will be doing that in Cricket 19. So stop asking is what I'm saying. Australia versus India. What do you think about the team they're taking?
So there's a couple of points. Like one thing I want to mention, I'm happy that certain young players are getting a chance.
Right, I am too, yeah.
I think Natarajan definitely warranted a chance.
Absolutely.
Varun Chakravarti unfortunately got injured. That's the only reason why he's in the team. But I would definitely say he's possibly, if I'm not remembering incorrectly, he's possibly the best left arm fast bowler they have at the moment. India. Khalil Ahmed could be a possible replacement, but I would go Natarajan all the way. In terms of their batting, it's always stacked. That's the thing with India, right? Their teams are so well versed. It's hard.
Always.
I'm just surprised that Saurav Ganguly actually said something about Rohit Sharma only being 70% fit right now, which I'm surprised about because he didn't look 70% fit in the final at all. He batted really well.
He did, yeah. He got a half ton.
And that's what I'm surprised about, that he's not even considered for the T20s or the ODIs. You know what I mean?
But he is in the test squad, which is surprising because normally he is not in the test squad. And if you look at his test record, it's not that great outside of India.
Yeah.
So that's a bit surprising to me. What do you think about Virat, by the way?
You mean leaving
his situation?
Leaving halfway through? All right. I personally
maternity leave.
I personally understand where he's coming from. It's family issues. Family is more important, especially in these times where we live. So I'm actually okay with it. But my biggest issue is who they're going to put as the captain, because they've said that Ajinkya Rahane will be captaining India in the tests.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's an interesting one.
Yeah. He is the vice captain in the test squad though. So in general, Rohit, what are your thoughts on Virat leaving?
So, it's weird for me because the thing is, the current situation, in normal circumstances, I would say you don't really need to be there. I mean, what do you have, what are you doing that's actually helping that situation, right? Nothing really. It's all the woman's job. But so I don't really, you being there or not being there, I guess it's, mentally you're showing your support or something, I don't know. But in the current situation that we are during COVID and lockdown, yeah, it makes sense him going back, and yeah, I'll back him with that. I mean, it's his personal choice. Whatever I think doesn't matter anyways. I mean, it's his personal choice, his personal life, whatever he does. He knows what he's doing. He's been playing cricket for a very long time. And if he's leaving like that, then I'm sure he knows that the team is more than capable of taking care of itself without him. So I don't think it should be I don't think it should be as big of a problem as people are making it out to be. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. I mean, Ajinkya Rahane is, if I had a choice, like I said, he's the vice captain, so he's an automatic pick, but I would have rather gone with Rohit Sharma. Don't you think? He makes more sense. I mean, he's had a lot of success in the IPL, a lot of success in the IPL as well, so there's a case for him.
I definitely make a case for him. The thing is, I don't think he's captained the test squad at all, right? He's captained the T20s, he's captained the ODIs, so there is, and you probably know about this, but there is talk about replacing Virat Kohli from the T20 captaincy altogether.
Yep.
And making Rohit Sharma the T20 captain.
Yeah.
Which potentially I don't have a problem with. The reason is because Rohit Sharma's record as a T20 captain across national games and IPL and everything, it does supersede Virat Kohli, at least at the moment it does.
Yeah.
And I think that's where he is best suited as captain. If he was to be pushed into the captaincy for tests straight away, that would be a shock. It would be a very Pakistani move, let's put it that way, to do something like that.
Definitely.
I am Pakistani, so I can say that, okay? So
yeah. So am I.
So
it's funny how two Pakistanis talking about India, but here we go. Here we are.
I'm okay with it. I think it's a good decision from the husbandly duties that he has. He's fulfilling them in the best way he thinks possible. Again, it's a personal choice. If he's done it, that's great. At least India, if they lose Virat Kohli, doesn't mean that they are zero. You know what I mean? They're still at about 90%.
Absolutely not, yeah. Especially in their batting. I mean, they've got so many talented batsmen. I mean, it's I think they'll be fine. By the way, I didn't mean him, Rohit Sharma, captain for the test. That's Ajinkya Rahane, obviously. I meant limited overs. So, yeah. So that would be Ajinkya Rahane because he is the vice captain. So, you can't really change that.
But I agree, T20s definitely, Rohit Sharma should get the...
T20. Yeah. He's a much better batsman, like we spoke about already, as well, in the limited overs, so it just makes sense to me. Another player that we missed out was Sanju Samson. You already know what I think. I think he fully deserves to be there. I like him a lot. I liked his batting. The thing about his batting in the IPL was he was hitting sixes and he was getting lots of boundaries. But if you look at his shots, particularly in the start of the season, they were proper shots. He wasn't just slogging them away. He was actually keeping his balance, keeping his form, keeping his technique, which was something very impressive. And that's not easy to do. But he did it, and he made it look easy, let's be honest. So I'm very excited to see him play it for India.
Yeah, I think India might actually give him a shot, especially because he's chosen for the ODIs, and maybe they're not 100% who the actual wicketkeeper should be at this point for them. So it could be that they actually give KL Rahul the gloves for the first couple of games, and then they think, we want to have a genuine wicketkeeper. That's why, I don't know if you noticed, but Rajasthan Royals actually switched their keeper from Josh Butler to Sanju Samson halfway through.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, halfway through they did, yes.
Yeah, just to get his wicket-keeping skills up to scratch again.
Yeah.
So, in terms of his wicket-keeping, I think he's done a very, very decent job.
So we'll move on to South Africa versus England, and that one's interesting because it might not even happen. I heard about the ban for South Africa. There was by the way, did you know about this? They had a ban before as well from international cricket, South Africa. So this won't be the first time if they get banned. Now, I don't know too much about why that is. Do you know what's going on with South Africa?
Yeah. So basically the issue is that the Parliament and the CSA, so Cricket South Africa, are having an issue. They don't want to come up with an interim board in this time. They don't want to settle on a proper council. That's the thing. And because of that reason, that will show inability from South Africa's end to be stable enough to host a country to play cricket. Right?
Okay.
And because of that reason, there is about they're making a decision as we record this video, okay? Mm-hmm. So I don't know what's going to happen, but from what it looks like, at least, England might step back. If they don't establish some sort of board, England's going to step back and they're not going to go to South Africa, and this might jeopardize the Pakistan-South Africa series next year as well, because that's what was going to happen initially back in October before they decided, we're going to come to Pakistan. That was the big reason why. And you speak of the ban, that's during the apartheid times, I think you're talking about.
Yes.
Yeah, between the 70s and 92. So it happens in South Africa. So nothing new, but it's kind of disappointing because I was looking forward to South Africa, England.
Yeah, it's a big team. I mean, it's not like, the next team we're going to talk about, it's not like Zimbabwe or one of the minnows, right? So to see a big team like South Africa who consistently, I say consistently, they haven't done anything good in the last couple of years, but before that, they were pretty good. They've had amazing legends. I mean, Graham Smith, Henshall Gibbs, Imran Tahir right now, Hashim Amla, AB de Villiers, and then you're going to miss out on all of that. Potentially the next AB de Villiers we might miss out on. That's quite interesting. I hope it doesn't happen. I really hope they sort it out, but we'll see how it goes. Let's assume a hypothetical. Let's say South Africa is banned, and so the Pakistan tour is not happening with South Africa. The England tour is not happening. All of a sudden, England has a lot of free time, and so does Pakistan. Now, Pakistan and England have been talking about a series for a long time. Do you think that sort of makes way for that to happen? Because I did hear that England was going to come to Pakistan, but they were not going to send their full strength team because they're visiting Sri Lanka, right? Or Sri Lanka is visiting England. I don't know. It's a Sri Lanka-England series. I don't know where it is, but... So
I think it might be Sri Lanka or it might be India. They're playing India in the UAE later in January, February time. Mm-hmm. So I think what England kind of said was they have a week available where they can come to Pakistan and play 3 T20s. And they weren't going to send their full side, right?
Full strength side.
And now I'm thinking, what if South Africa gets banned, maybe they can make the Pakistan tour a longer tour where they have test matches and ODIs. So Wasim Khan, the CEO of Pakistan PCB, he's actually mentioned that they've been in talks, especially when the pandemic hit, because Pakistan came to England, right? So Pakistan came to England. Now they kind of owe them a favor, don't they? They need to go to Pakistan.
Right, return the favor.
Yeah, exactly. So maybe that's February or early March, something like that, and that might be best for both sides, because I don't know if PSL is still happening in March next year, like it usually does. But I definitely think if that's the case, England and Pakistan should get some sort of series going.
All right, so then we'll move on to the series that just happened, Pakistan versus Zimbabwe. And for the most part, it was how we expected it to be. You know, whenever a full, what is it called? Like a full, I forgot the word. So there's a minnows, and then there's a word for it.
The test side or a full? I know what you mean.
I think it's a test side, but it's like a full nation, let's just say, and a minnows nation. So whenever it's one of those two going against each other, especially home for the stronger side, let's say, it's pretty much one-sided, and that's how it was for the most part. But in the ODIs, something happened. Now, one of those ODIs was very one-sided, but the other two, however, were not one-sided at all. The first ODI and the last ODI, well, the last one we lost, and the first one we nearly lost. So, what are your thoughts on that? I didn't think Pakistan would struggle that much as they did. Even though we won, it wasn't convincing, you know?
Yeah, right. So just to give you an overview, so the word you were looking for, full member and associate members.
There you go.
Right?
Right. Associate and full member. That's it. Yep.
So, and the second point is that, you know, the issue with Pakistan is this is their first ODI they've played since the World Cup, basically, isn't it? Last year.
Right.
So
yes.
They needed some kind of juices flowing, which is fair enough for the first game. I think personally, Zimbabwe had a better rapport in that series. Zimbabwe lost the match in the first one. Pakistan didn't win that match, right?
Right.
They
yes, absolutely. I
gave
agree.
up those wickets. Shaheen and Wahab did a fantastic job. In the second one, I think that's the one that I expected the entire series to go. So I said I said in one of my videos that genuinely I wanted Pakistan to win 3-0, but by the end of it, I genuinely think Zimbabwe should have won 2-1 because they just
2-1, yeah.
They played the better cricket. I have no idea why. It could be out of practice, but they had a national T20 like a couple of weeks before that. It just didn't make sense. They picked the wrong people.
They can't use that no practice excuse because they've had, like you said, national T20. Before that, they played against England. They've had way more practice than Zimbabwe. I mean, who did Zimbabwe play against? Right?
They haven't played at all this year. That was the first
exactly.
game. Yeah.
So if they're they did play against someone. I forgot. It was like Ireland or something at the start of the year. Yeah. Something like, or was it Bangladesh? One of the smaller sides. Although Bangladesh is no longer a small side, though. Yeah, but yeah, that was weird. The last game, that's super over. I'm not even gonna go into that. That was the worst.
We don't have to talk about it. Like honestly, I'm completely.
That was the worst super over I had ever seen. But yeah, it was. I have to say, like you said, it was a disappointing performance for Pakistan. We won, but it didn't feel like we did. And but then T20, and now I don't know what it is about Pakistan. It's like a completely different side. All of a sudden, it's the same players, and then I don't know what happens. It's like the surge of energy. It's like a whole new team. They just crush anyone that comes in their way. And that's exactly what happened. They crushed Zimbabwe. Now, that was convincingly Pakistan series, that T21.
Yeah, 100%. I think the difference is a bowler bowling 10 overs and a bowler bowling 4 overs. That's the biggest thing. Yeah. Pakistan has picked, or cherry-picked, let's say, PSL bowlers, brought them into the Pakistan side, and then put them in for ODIs. The only one that's developed is Shaheen Afridi, right? Everyone else seems out of their depth. And I think this is where they shine because that's players like Haris Rauf, players like Mohammad Hasnan. They do well in T20, right?
Short performance,
Yeah, but for ODIs, I think the team Pakistan selected made more sense for the T20.
So you mentioned Babar Azam. I like him a lot. Obviously, you do too. A lot of people do. I mean, you kind of have to the way he's playing. I don't think there's anyone that you have to put him in the Fab Four right now, I would say. Especially the current form he's in. Granted, that form did come from Zimbabwe, but still, he's in a very good form. There is a thing that I want to ask you, though, which is, and I saw it a lot online. I saw Shoaib Akhtar say this too. Maybe you've heard it too. He is not an impact player. That's a word that has been used a lot. And I think what that means is he's not aggressive enough, which doesn't really make sense to me. If you look at his strike rate, it's pretty much over 100, well over 100, by the way. And even in that last T20, if you look at it, I think he was going at near 200 strike rate. So how do you answer that? Like when someone says he's not an impact player and he scored 125 runs? They said it after that third game where we lost in the end. So 125 runs. But he's not an impact player.
Their justification is the fact that, and I think I would tend to agree with Shoaib Akhtar on this. So as an example, if we go back about 15 years, and you think of players like Mohammad Yusuf, you think about Inzamam al-Haq, when they were batting, if they'd get to 90 of 90 balls, they'd be 130 of 110 balls.
Yes.
Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
That-
Okay. So
that's the point.
you're going the same point as I was gonna make. All right.
So I think the one point that I'm pleased about that Babar Azam has said, and I've seen it in the T20s, as you mentioned, in the last T20, he had a strike rate of almost 200, right?
Right.
He has increased over the course since the World Cup last year. He has genuinely worked on his power hitting, and his strike rate in T20s has gone from about 121 to, over the past year and a half, or about a year and a bit, it's 135, 136. And I think Virat Kohli is 138 in T20s.
Yes.
And he's almost hitting that level, which is exactly what you need from now your captain, your best batsman, and your opener. You see what I mean? I think that's very, very important. And he's realized that that's a mistake that he's been making. So I would say he's becoming an impact player, but at this very moment, at least in ODIs, he didn't do what the old greats would have done.
Right. I think so. Here's the thing. I think of when they say an impact player, what I think is a player who can hit a 6 on any ball, regardless of how good that ball is. Right? A player who sort of forces a 6, like Shahid Afridi or Chris Gale, right? Fine example of those. Or Jayasuriya as well. That was another legend who used to be able to do that. So, and if you look at that game, he would swing his bat, he would try to slog, and he would miss completely. And it was when he would try to be technical and try to sort of look nice like he normally does, that's when he would connect and get boundaries. So I think that's what they mean. He's not really a hard hitter of the ball, which is what Afridi was. And that's sort of the example they normally make, is he's an impact player, Afridi, even though his average was like, 21 or something over his career. So he's not that great of a batsman, but whenever he did bat, I mean, it was over for the opponent. Right, a huge impact.
Yeah.
Right. So, and I see that in Haider Ali, by the way. He might be the next Afridi for us.
Can I tell you something? So I've watched basically your entire career mode for quite a while, right? So I watched.
Okay, that's over 100 episodes.
Yeah. I watched all of it.
I commend you for that.
Yeah. So one thing I'd say is I've realized you're a huge Haider Ali and Khushnil Shah fan, right?
Yep.
And I think those two are possibly the only two players Pakistan has who have the propensity to be the next Shahid Afridi.
Yes.
Right? And
both are Pushtun as well, same as Afridi, so.
Yeah. So there's it runs in that blood. So
in
definitely,
the genes,
both of them definitely have a shot to do something like that. I agree.
Yeah. Yep. We had Asif Ali, but he kind of disappeared.
No, we can't put Asif Ali in that bracket whatsoever. I'm really sorry to be so blunt here, but Asif Ali does not deserve to be in the Pakistan team. He's great in Islamabad United. He's great in the
Yes,
national
he
team.
is. Man, I hated him when he smacked us around Peshawar Zalmis in the final. That was ridiculous. That was brutal what he did last year. So, speaking of Islamabad and PSL, that's what we're going to move on to. PSL is starting in tomorrow, actually. Well, actually, I don't know what time it is there. The date might have changed.
Basically tomorrow.
Okay. All right. So it's going to start on the 14th, let's just say. And we're going to have first game is Multan and Karachi. That's a qualifier. Those are the teams that finishes at the top. They get an extra game, basically. If they lose that, they're not out. And then there's the eliminator, which will be Lahore and Peshawar, right? Now, I was born and raised in Peshawar, so obviously I'm going to go with Peshawar. Who are you backing? You want Islamabad to win, even though they didn't make it. How's that going to work, huh?
Yeah, so Karachi Kings. That's what I'm saying. I'm going
Karachi,
with Mohammad Amir. You've got Babar Azam, you got Imad Wasim. In my opinion, the best Pakistani all-rounder, the best Pakistani batsman, and arguably
Don't say it. Don't say it.
Arguably one of the best bowlers.
If you say you're my fan, then you know how I feel about that guy. So don't say what you're about to say.
Yeah, at the moment, I rate Shaheen Afridi above all the other Pakistani bowlers by far.
Mm-hmm.
He is.
You have to. Look at his form. Yeah.
He's genuinely the best. But I think one thing Mohammad Amir does for Pakistan is he's a big match player. That's a word that I believe just suits him very well. So an example is Shikhar Dhawan when he plays for India, when he plays in finals or if he plays in some world tournament, he will perform for you. To me, Mohammad Amir is that type of player. That's why I feel he deserves a place in the Pakistani squad, unless he's done really badly.
Which he has.
Which he has in the national T20 of late. Yeah. So
now that's a domestic league with kids playing in it, and those are the people whom against he has done bad. So imagine what kind of beating he's gonna get in New Zealand.
I have different opinions on that, but all I'm gonna say is there is a case for Mohammad Amir, but at the very moment, Wahab Riaz's form is a lot better. Okay.
A lot better, yeah. And then you've got Shaheen as well. So you've got a lot of left-handers already. And then in the national T20, he also lost his pace, which was very weird to me. Mohammad Amir.
He's Mohammad Abbas pace now.
You're right. Yeah. Right.
And he's 20. He's apparently 28, right? So that's basically Wasim Akram when Wasim Akram was 34. That's when he was bowling 130 kilometers per hour. Right?
Yes, and yeah. And Wasim Akram wasn't even considered the fastest bowler at the time. We had Waqar Yunus, who was much faster. Then we had Shoaib Akhtar, who was the fastest in the world and still is. So, I mean, you've got Imam Al-Haq, who I'm a huge fan of. And I know Pakistanis don't like that, but I love that guy. He's a very good average. He shows up when you need him. Sure, he's not someone who's going to hit you big sixes, but he keeps the scorecard ticking, and you need a player like that.
The issue with Imam Al-Haq is I do not argue the fact that he is possibly the only choice for opening for Pakistan in the one-dayers.
Yes.
In the T20s, the only time I've seen him play well was this national T20 guy where he got, I think, a couple of 90s.
Did you see him in Peshawar? He got a 50 in Peshawar in his first game in PSL.
True. But I don't know. See, this is the thing. We've got Fakhar Zaman, which I really don't want them to keep. Abdullah Shafiq has impressed me. Imam Al-Haq, I think if he does get into the side, then he has to do something crazy to stay in the side, let's put it that way, because it seems like there is a...
Crazier than scoring, what was it, 1,000 or something, or fastest to get to
1,000
whatever.
runs in ODIs.
Yeah.
So ODI, I would definitely add Imam Al-Haq in the side. There's no chasing that.
Or not fastest, but second fastest, because the fastest was Fakhar Zaman, I think.
I think we can check that.
Yeah, I think the fastest was Fakhar Zaman, because he broke Sir Vivian's record.
You are correct. You are very correct. There's one match difference. There's a one ODI difference. Yeah, you're right.
Yep. So definitely a great ODI player. What about him in tests? You don't really see him that often. I have seen Fakhar Zaman in tests, which doesn't make any sense to me. Why is he in tests?
There's the thing. Pakistan does not. So Pakistan does not have a plan for test cricket, right? I'm telling you, they have 5 players that they know they need, and then the other 6 they have no idea about. So they got Babar Azam, you got Shaheen Afridi, you got Mohammad Abbas. Now you have Mohammad Rizwan because he's your vice captain and he's done test matches. Mohammad Rizwan is just amazing, so I can't really say.
You can take him out of the squad. Yeah, he's vital.
And then possibly Yasir Shah, even though he hasn't done. You've seen both sides of him within one match. He gets 5 wickets and then he goes for over 120 runs in the second innings. So,
he goes missing. Yeah.
So he's not going to be taken out of the side, but the other 6 can be replaced with anyone from that squad. Also,
don't forget about Yasir Shah, who's also your best batsman.
Yes, you're right. I think I mentioned that once, that Yasir Shah, maybe the only reason he gets into the side is his batting. Not his bowling anymore, it's his batting. Getting those key runs.
The best ever batsman to average 18, or what is it, 13 or something. What do you think about Azhar Ali? I mean, they sort of just pushed him to the side. That was a weird choice. By the way, I'm going to just say outright, I don't think Babar Azam should have been the captain of any team, let alone Test. So, I don't know what they're doing, but...
I'll tell you what they're doing. They are going back on all their decisions, right? That's the idea, right? And I'm going to be very short and sweet. The idea is, Misbah Haq became the coach, became the chief selector.
Right.
His choice was to choose Azhar Ali as captain. Azhar Ali... as a batsman, only performed in the final test, And
Yeah.
otherwise, his form wasn't great. He was left out of the side and he was brought in as captain. Okay? Now, the funny thing is, I would have kept Azhar Ali because you don't give him like however many test matches he captained and then dropped, and then Babar Azam.
In England, by the way. I mean, he was out of form, but that was England conditions, so let's not forget that either.
Whatever he scored, he scored a big 100 in that final test match. So that is the wrong time to drop someone as captain. But one thing I respect about Babar Azam, he actually said he wants to take the captains he's played under with him into all the test matches and things like that, because he feels he is inexperienced as a captain. I would say I feel he's inexperienced as a captain, but
he's 25.
25? No, inexperienced as a captain, because he hasn't done much at all in terms
He's
of
inexperienced as everything is what I'm saying. So of course he's gonna be inexperienced as a captain. You know what I mean? Like, he's inexperienced as a player. So
one thing though, this is a point I wanted to raise with you. If not Azhar Ali, because they wanted to take Azhar Ali off the reins, who else?
Rizwan.
He's played 8 test matches. He's played 8 or 9 test matches.
It's fine. He check his career. His entire career, he's been the captain in domestic, and he's won trophies with Khyber Pakhtunkhwa last year. He won the national T20 with KPK as well. And another reason I'll give you is because now you have about 7 or 8 players who speak Pashto, so you need someone who can communicate with those guys, and Rizwan can do that.
I'll tell you what. I actually, when we found out that Azhar Ali was being dropped, my first video I released about it was, Mohammad Rizwan is going to get the captaincy for tests for Pakistan.
Right.
But I think the idea is they don't want to give him straight the captaincy of Pakistan without making him some sort of vice captain. And that's why I think they've given him that position, so he can get some experience handling the national side. I get what you were saying, and I cannot argue that fact that he's first class national T20 twice now. He has mostly captained whatever side he's been.
And he's won trophies. That's the more important thing.
He's won championships, he's won trophies.
Yeah.
So it makes sense. But and again, you can disagree with me, and I think you probably will. But in terms of Mohammad Rizwan, I think he needs to play more test matches for Pakistan.
No, I don't disagree with you at all there. What I disagree with is how... So you want to make Rizwan the vice captain and then the captain, but you just made Babar Azam the captain like that. It just happened out of nowhere.
Do you know who you want to ask that question to? I'll get Misbah Saab on the phone, right? And then
Did you see Amir's comment, by the way?
Oh, yeah, that's why I said Misbah Saab.
Yeah, that's a weird one. Anyways, it's getting a bit too long. We're losing track of time, and that means we're enjoying ourselves too much, which is a good thing, but we have to end the video somewhere, and what I'm going to end it on is just wrap up our thoughts. Pakistan versus New Zealand, what do you think is going to happen? Do you think the Rizwan choice is good? We already spoke about it a little bit. You don't just have to touch on that one. I think it's pretty good. I personally think it should have been Rizwan captain, Babar vice captain, and then Babar takes over and he becomes captain of all 3 formats. If that's what you're going to go with, Babar, your main guy, then make him the vice captain, have him under someone who knows how to lead a team, and then make him the captain, and then he leads Pakistan in all 3 fronts. So that's my opinion. You can disagree, and I think you do. But against New Zealand, they're going to find it very difficult. Those conditions are way different than anything Pakistan's used to. Pakistan's going to struggle big time. I hope they don't, but they're gonna. It's just going to happen. When they give that new ball to Tim Saudi and the ball keeps coming at you like this, yeah, it's over. It's over for Pakistan. What do you think?
Right, so let's be real. Pakistan isn't going to win any matches on this tour, okay?
Any matches at all.
This is the thing. I try my best to be objective, but with Pakistan, it's really difficult.
Impartial, yeah.
So, Pakistan are going to lose the test series 1-0, in my opinion. I think they're going to possibly 2-1, lose 2-1 the T20 series. They might win the last one, and again, that's up for debate. But at this very moment, from my understanding, I don't think Pakistan can win any matches with the side they have, and especially the tests. And one thing I want to mention, there are so many neglected players from the Pakistan side that I made a list of 25 players, okay? I made a list of 25 players. And in that 25-player list, 8 have been picked, and there are 17 approximately that have been missed. There's older players, such as Tabish Khan, which, again, you probably know about a lot more than I do. But Tabish Khan is a player. Usman Salahuddin, Samir Aslam's kind of given up. You've got Bilal Asif as a spinner. You've got Sajid Khan. You've got Numan Ali. Like, a lot of these players have performed domestically so well. I don't understand why Sohail Khan's there, because if their issue is that
he's not gonna get a chance to play anyways. I think he's just there to fill in the blank, you know.
Take someone else. Take anyone.
But I think he's there for net practice. They need a fast bowler who they can make, who they can make bowl to their regular batsman, and who, if gets injured, it's fine. You know what I mean? It's a bit harsh, but what other reason is there? They've picked him every single time, and he hasn't played one game. So you have to say that
there's players who have been picked in the squad for 4 tours and then dropped without having a game. Kashif Bhatti is a perfect example.
That's another one, yeah.
My point is, I was just very surprised. So my take on it is just, I don't know what's going to happen. I'm not glad about the squad as much as certain people are. The Asif Shafiq discussion is an entirely different one. That is a very long conversation. I don't want to take too long, but long story short, very experienced player. He didn't perform in England.
He should be there. I agree with you. He should be there. If you remember that test against Australia, he was our last hope. If he wasn't there, that game was over.
Asif Shafiq with Mohammad Rizwan, 6 and 7. They can save you the game completely.
They can.
Too much pressure on Mohammad Rizwan, batting probably at 6 now, I guess, in the tests.
Yeah. Probably,
so that's my take on it. Are you okay? Are you happy with this score?
I mean, I don't think it makes much of a difference, but if that's what we're gonna go with, I hope they win. I wish them all the best, and whatever the plan is, I hope it works out. Misbah is, I'll have to say, a lot of people hate Misbah, and they hated him when he was a player as well. He was my favorite batsman when he was playing, and I still believe him to be the right man for the job that he's got. I think he has in him the ability to produce something special, and I think he's gonna. We just need to give him a little time, And Waqar Younis, my all-time favorite bowler, so I'm a bit biased there, although his record is not too great as a coach. But I think maybe he can guide some of our youngsters, especially someone like Naseem Shah or Hasnain or Haris Rauf, the right-handers. I think they've got a good management. See, I mean, if you look at the management team they have at the moment, there are some really big stars from the past. There's Abdul Razak in there. There's Mohammad Yusuf, Yunus Khan have joined now. There's obviously Misbah. Then you've got Sakalain, who, man, I love that guy. Overall, happy with the squad, happy with the management team. I think they're gonna lead them in the right direction. We are a bit impatient as a nation altogether, and we need to stop doing that. We need to give people, time, and it applies to everything, not just cricket. So I have high hopes for Pakistan. I think Pakistan is not going to win any of those the series, T20 or Test, but they are going to give New Zealand a run for their money, I believe, and I really hope they do. It's going to be good games to watch, basically. Thank you for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, do drop a like, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and do check out his channel. Like I said, link is in the description. What is your channel called?
Cricket for Us 2.0. Appreciate the likes.
There you go, 2.0, not 1.0, okay? 2.0. But yeah, link will be in the description. Check him out. He's got some nice videos, and yeah, subscribe to my channel as well if you haven't, and I'll see you guys next time. Until then, have a nice